Hey guys, today I'm working on my 1974 fiberglass Crestliner boat, and I wanted to show you the problem that I ran into. So I got this boat, and when I got it, it did not actually have a key in the ignition right here. As you can see, the key is absent. And I researched for quite a while to try to figure out what you're supposed to do if the key is gone, and in the forums on the internet, I found that some people say you can try other keys. Sometimes the tumblers in there are simple enough that an old like motorcycle key or just some old key will work to turn the lock. And I actually had a bunch of keys, so I tried several different keys, and although they fit into the ignition, they never actually were able to turn it. The other option is to maybe hire a locksmith to come and work on it, but when I got to looking at this, it's kind of beat up. And I think that a locksmith is probably going to be fairly expensive, but you won't have to deal with the trouble of pulling it apart, so I can see where it would be beneficial. But I looked online and I found one that will work, I'm pretty sure, with this. And it's just a simple new ignition switch. And it comes with two keys. So I'll be able to put one on the boat and one somewhere else safe so that I always have a spare. If you can't find a key that works with it, and if you aren't able to afford hiring a locksmith, or just don't think that's an option for your area — we live in really rural southwest Minnesota — then I suggest ordering a new one. This cost me about $20, so it's not too horrible as far as the cost goes also. Anyway, we're going to begin taking this apart and putting in the new one, and I'll just kind of show you how it goes in there. It should be pretty simple. We should be able to get it done pretty quickly. At least, that's always the hope. So it's just two screws that hold that up to there. And I'm just going to allow this to gently tip this way. And you got to be careful because there are obviously these cables and stuff running in there connected to everything. Then on the back of here we have three screws holding this plate on. This is actually all metal construction. We're just going to go ahead and loosen these screws. I might have to get it. Oh no. I was going to say I might have to get a different bit, but apparently not. You just gotta slowly pry upwards like that, and it comes out and reveals the horrifyingly complex looking stuff. So we're just gonna set this down right here. I think it'll be fine for it to lean up against there. And now we can see how they compare to each other. There's a nut on the front of the ignition. I'm going to go ahead and thread that off. That's actually metal, so if that fits onto the new ignition switch, I'm going to reuse that. This piece you're going to want to reuse. This is what the throttle control drops down on. I'm not going to touch any of the springy stuff. I don't want any of this to pop out. If it does, eventually I'll get it back in, but I really don't want to have to mess with it. Okay, so now we can see our comparison. It's looking pretty similar to me. They send, with the box, they send the instructions for what is what. So we have a magneto terminal, a common, or the C for the choke, the ignition, the solenoid, that must be for the fuel, and the battery terminals. So a whole slew of things. Oh, and one that just goes directly to ground. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and begin removing these wires and just carefully moving them over. There goes one. Tighten it up on there. Alright, so I got the hose put on the intake. And I checked the oil in the gear case. There's oil. I'm going to change it after I get the engine running at some point. But I think we're pretty much ready to try starting it. The key is installed and it does work. I don't know if I should be surprised about that or not. Start position. So Ben and I were troubleshooting this forever, trying to figure out what was wrong. There was no spark. And finally, Ben realized where the kill switch goes.
Yep, right here. So when this pops out, then it shuts off.
Yep, it shuts off by closing this switch, which just grounds the spark.
Yep, so this little third plastic finger here holds that button down.
Here.
Can't see it very good.
From out there.
Yep.
So we turned it over a couple times just to see if it would make a spark.
And it does.
And it fired once on just one
Yeah,
cylinder.
because I was holding one spark plug in my hand.
Yep.
Up against the engine.
So we're gonna try it now. I primed it, we've got water, and all I gotta do hopefully is turn the key and it'll start up. Wow. It was running. Oh, we didn't even throttle it up at all.
Well, stuff turns.
Yeah.
And it fires.
I think it might have flooded a little bit.
Yeah, it's starting to like that better, seems like.